Hello dear children, hope you all are doing well. Let's continue with the second part of the chapter, How the Camel Got His Hump, from the Supplementary Reader It So Happened for Class 8. So, in the first part of the story, How the Camel Got His Hump, written by Rudyard Kipling, we have seen how the other animals, that is horse, dog and ox, complains to the man, who is their master, about the hump thing, who does not want to work. But the man could not console them. Instead, he said that they should work for extra hours to make up the work not done by the camel. This made all the animals angry. Finally, the jinn, in charge of all the deserts, appears before them, and with a promise to sort out the matter, he goes to the camel. Now let's see what happens next. Was the jinn able to put the camel to work? Let's read and find out. Second part of the story, Introduction. Before we begin reading, I again tell you, underline the difficult words. Try to pick up some new words which you can use in your daily life, in your daily conversation. Okay, let's read. The jinn remonstrated with the camel, who said, "Hump." Remonstrated here means protest strongly, or the jinn confronted the camel, who always said, "Hump." The camel's beautiful back suddenly grew a lump. Lump means a mass, which was the camel's hump. The jinn assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. Hindrance means a thing that provides a restriction or obstruction. In Hindi you can say rukavat. The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert, and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So the jinn left to meet the camel. He rolled himself in the dust cloth and he took a walk across the desert to meet the camel. When he finds the camel, what he saw? He saw that the camel is busy looking at his own reflection in the pool of water. This camel was very proud of his looks. He always used to go to the water pool to drink water and then admire its own beauty, its own slender long legs, its curvy neck and its beautiful long eyelashes. And the camel was particularly very proud and very happy of its beautiful flat back. "My friend," said the jinn, "what's this I hear of your doing no work?" So the jinn confronted the camel, saying that, "My dear friend, I'm hearing everybody is complaining to me about you, that you're not doing work at all." The jinn sat down with his tin in his hand, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. So after asking this question, expecting his response, that he will give jinn the appropriate answer, as he is the master. He is in charge of all the deserts. He is expecting an appropriate answer from the camel. So he just sat down with his chin in his hand and looking at the camel. But the camel continued looking at its reflection in the pool of water. So what this statement here says? That the camel continued looking at his own reflection in the water of pool. This shows that how obsessed this camel was with his own looks, with its own. He used to admire his reflection in the water. So the camel did not respond to jinn. "You have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness," said the jinn. So what jinn is telling, that you have given 3 extra work. Okay, as he did not work on Monday. 3 days means Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday have already passed. And this is Thursday today. He did not work for Monday. He did not work for Tuesday. He did not work on Wednesday. Now it's Thursday. So the jinn is telling that you have given 3 extra work. As you were idle for all these 3 days. So you have to do extra work. You have to make up these lapsed days for the days you did not work by putting on extra effort. And he went on thinking with his tin in his hand. So the jinn, still waiting for a response from the camel, he's sitting and thinking about the camel with his tin in his hand. "Hump," said the camel. Again the camel repeated the same word in response to jinn's question. That people are complaining about you. You should start working. What is your opinion? For that again the camel responded the same way, saying "Hump." "I shouldn't say that again if I were you," said the jinn. This time it really annoyed the jinn. He said, "If I were you, if I were in your place, I shouldn't have repeated the same word. You might say it once too often." Once too often means to cause trouble for oneself by repeating stupid or annoying things or repeating any annoying behavior. So he is telling, if you keep repeating this "hump" word again and again, you may put yourself into trouble. He was warning the camel. He warned the camel that stop repeating this word. I want you to work. Now he commanded camel that stop repeating this word. Your word may put you in trouble. Now just go. I want you to work just as other animals are working. And the camel said, "Hump" again. But the camel did not change. He again repeated the word "hump." But this time what happens? The jinn takes up this word, works magic on it and puts something on the back of the camel. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back that he was so proud of, puffing up into a great big hump. So as soon as he repeated the same way again, even after jinn threatening him that once too often you repeat these words, you will put yourself into trouble. Again he repeated, and the jinn works magic on it and he creates one hump on the back of the camel. As he said this, he observed that the back of the camel was just puffing up, that is swelling up. It was just puffing up into a big hump. "Do you see that?" said the jinn. So jinn asked the camel, "Did you see that? On your back something is there. That's your own very hump that you have brought upon you, your very own self, by not working." So jinn is telling that you have brought that hump, that curse upon yourself by not working. Today is Thursday. When he says today is Thursday, that means Monday has gone, Tuesday and Wednesday. These 3 days he did not work at all. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. So the first day the horse met camel, the dog met camel and the ox met camel. 3 of them met the camel on the very first day. And they all called camel for work. So since 3 days he did not work. Okay, now you are going to work. "How can I," said the camel, "with this hump on my back?" So again the camel is trying to give some excuse that this hump is there on my back. This may be an hindrance to me, a restriction. This may stop me working. How can I work with this hump on my back, this lump on my back? "That has a purpose," said the jinn. All because you missed those 3 days. So the jinn is saying this hump is not going to be a hindrance for you. It won't stop you from working. Instead, it is going to help. That hump has a purpose because you missed 3 days, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, when all the animals had been working since the very first day of the creation. You were resting. You did not work at all. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say, I never did anything for you. So the jinn is telling that as you miss 3 days now, depending on your hump, you can continuously work for 3 days. You will not have to stop anywhere to eat or drink something and waste your time. Instead, you can work non-stop for 3 days because you have to make up for the lost 3 days which you missed in the beginning. So, sarcastically he is telling camel that now you don't ever say that I did not do anything for you. I have created this wonderful hump on which you can rely and work continuously for 3 days without food or drink. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. Now he is again commanding, ordering the camel that now you leave this howling desert. Okay, and go to the 3 other animals and behave. That is, now go and work. And the camel went away to join the 3. So, listening to the master, listening to the jinn, he goes away and he joins the 3. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feelings. So, it is said that since that day, this camel, all the camels wear a hump. And we call it hump. We don't call it hump because this may, if we say hump, it may hurt the feelings of the camel. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world. But still, he is not able to caught up to catch with the missed 3 days work. And he has never yet learned how to behave. And still, he has not learned how to behave with others. He is still very proudy and lazy, but he has to work anyways. So, what do we learn from this lesson? We learn that all the living things must work and laziness is not a good thing. Being lazy never pays.